Hey folks, welcome to episode 2 of Forever. So this episode we are going to be covering the first couple of days of the Game Developers Conference. There was a lot of content that came out over the past couple of days, but the expo itself doesn't actually start until tomorrow. So rather than have two very short episodes, I wanted to just kind of focus on some of the announcements over the past couple of days before some of the big announcements happen tomorrow. Honestly, I don't know how big the announcements will be, so, keep your hype to massive levels, but not to the point where, you're panicking, waiting. First thing I want to go over is the Quest Countdown, the reason you might want to panic in waiting. Oculus has been teasing us really for about a week already about some of the Quest lineup games and some of the announcements related to the Quest that are coming at GDC. The first big announcement they made was kind of big. I mean, only the most popular game in VR today, Beat Saber. So Beat Saber is coming to the Quest, and the other important thing to talk about here is this video was shot in mixed reality. So mixed reality is going to be a feature of the Oculus Quest. Right now, mixed reality isn't even a part of Oculus Home, so it's kind of interesting to see that the Live team have somehow managed to work in mixed reality with Facebook. Now, of course, I'm crediting Live because they're the ones that worked on this with the Splitverse team in Missouri. This is some making of footage of that right now. But the huge news here is Beat Saber wireless on the Oculus Quest. I actually spoke with one of the Live developers who just actually was in the image coincidentally there, and he mentioned he's played the game on Expert Plus. It works fantastic even on Expert Plus. The Beat Games developers have gone on record in saying that the Quest works fantastic. John Carmack was using Beat Saber as a way to kind of benchmark and make sure the tracking was working on the Quest. So huge exciting news, definitely something awesome, but maybe not the huge news everybody was looking for. Right now, the only thing that folks are able to play on the North Hall lobby, Facebook Gaming and Oculus Quest and Instagram booth, is Sports Scramble. Now, this isn't at GDC. This is just the CEO and CTO of Facebook playing Sports Scramble. This was actually pre-OC5, but I do have a quick clip of myself after playing Sports Scramble that I'm going to cut to right now. Hey folks, I am at the Facebook Gaming booth. I'm going to flip the camera around so you can see this here. So there's the giant Facebook Gaming G and Instagram mirrored room photo booth, and over here a little bit further is the Oculus Quest. So I just played Tennis Scramble. Actually, it's the tennis mode in Sports Scramble, which I'm assuming is going to be a full game soon. You can see it's behind me right now. And I didn't get to play Tennis Scramble at OC5, so it was pretty cool to try it out for the first time. It's a 1st to 7 multiplayer match is what I got to play. It was a lot of fun. Definitely one of the cooler experiences, and tracking, you're swinging your arm, playing with a tennis racket, or it turns into other instruments as well, worked very well, very fluid. So I'm excited for tomorrow when I get to experience the future of gaming right there where it says the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts. So stay tuned. Tomorrow I will be doing some coverage, hopefully over there. The line here is around an hour and a half to 2 hours, so definitely worth the wait, but also awesome to see VR in great demand. Stay tuned. I'll talk to you soon. So the interesting thing about the Quest demo for Sports Scramble was after I finished the demo, there was a survey you could do. And as part of that survey, it named 5 titles that it could have potentially been that you played. Now, 1 or 2 or 3 may have been made-up titles. Like if you picked one of those, they might have just thrown your survey out or something because you didn't know the game that you had just played. but they weren't familiar to me. The only two that were familiar to me were Sports Scramble and Beat Saber. So I'm excited to see maybe there will be 3 new Quest games shown off in the next 3 days. For right now, though, all signs pointed to 3/20/19, as you can see above me, which is tomorrow, and the day that the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts section of the Oculus and Facebook Gaming Expo happens. HTC had their HTC Vive Dev Day on Monday. They did confirm that Viveport Infinity is going to not only support their HTC headsets, but also Oculus Rift, and later this year, Windows Mixed Reality, which is pretty big news to make sure that every PC-based headset is supported with Viveport Infinity, rather. Viveport Infinity is, I believe, going to be $12.99 a month for unlimited access to over 600 applications on the Viveport storefront. Some of the games on there are very good quality titles. Some of them are hit or miss experiences, but at $12.99, that's the full price. Acting and doing things like subscribing now or locking in for a year can get that price down to as low as $99 a year, or $8.99 per month. The Vive team also showed off their hand tracking. This is completely gloveless, completely other deviceless hand tracking. So it's actually pretty impressive when you think about it, because the Leap Motion is a completely separate device. Gloves are completely separate from the HMD itself. This is using a Vive Pro in this particular footage, but they have said that this gloveless, external deviceless hand tracking feature will be available on the Vive, Vive Pro, Vive Pro I, and in at least a gesture-based model on the Vive Focus models. And finally, HTC have confirmed their new 2019 lineup of HMDs, and get ready for it, it's the ones we already knew. So it's the Vive Pro I, the Vive Focus Plus, and the Vive Cosmos. I'm not aware of them sharing any new information about the Cosmos. Again, I'm still hoping, probably not going to happen, but hoping that the Cosmos is able to be demoed on the show floor once the exhibit hall opens tomorrow. Qualcomm had a interesting announcement yesterday where their Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 reference headset is actually going to be able to use 802.11 AD and 60 megahertz frequencies, similar to the TP Cast and the Vive official wireless adapter, to stream from a Qualcomm-based headset similar to the 835 series headsets like the Lenovo Mirage Solo, the Vive Focus, and the Oculus Quest, but of course with a newer processor that has this capability built in. And it's going to allow you to stream from your PC directly to the headset. So that's impressive if it works very well. I haven't had the opportunity to do the Boundless XR demo, unfortunately. It was at a hotel that's not directly adjacent to where GDC is happening. I am hoping that they have it on the exhibit hall floor. If so, I will certainly check it out. Something I'm actually pretty excited about, because the Qualcomm headsets are phone style based headsets. They don't have a phone built in. They're still standalone, but they're very thin and light. So if they can get something like this working, and it works very well and it has good resolution, this could be that start that we're looking for a next generation VR product. Nvidia also made an announcement related to streaming VR from GeForce Now, which is one of their own applications. Of course, Nvidia controlling the GPU, they might be able to do some tricks with rendering and tricks with pushing out the output. I'm not sure exactly how that technology is going to work, outside of them saying it's going to be part of GeForce Now in the near future. HP had the Copper headset as a code name. Road to VR provided some coverage of that in recent weeks. Today they made it official. It is the HP Reverb headset. This thing has 4K screens, and from what I've heard from those who have had the opportunity to review it and do some quick demos with it, it is one of the most comfortable headsets out there. It's going to retail for $599 when it comes to the market later this year. This is going to be a Windows mixed reality headset, and hopefully I'll get to check it out on the Expo Hall floor in the days to come. Also, sometime yesterday, this became slightly more public. This was actually something that a friend of mine told me about a few days ago, but I obviously didn't have this fancy picture. Sony has patented a wireless VR patent where it would track the HMD wirelessly without any type of wire connecting to a PlayStation or other console. As you can see in the image, there's a headset staring at a control box. I'm assuming that means it's still going to be a front-facing setup, but that's just an assumption. In AR news, Niantic has the gardens at GDC. If you're at GDC and you need to charge your phone, there's a stage in a garden with a giant actual Pokestop. Go there, plug your phone in, get some power. Tweet at me, at E- or at 4EVRTV. Let me know that you're there. I'll come say hi. Kronos Group has finally released 0.9 of OpenXR. So a public release of the OpenXR runtimes is available. This is just the OpenXR launcher. It's not the application that actually connects so that you can replace Steam or replace Oculus Home and still run your headset. That's something that's going to be coming in the distant future. They haven't prioritized that. They just want to get what they've currently got running so that you can get controller parity, so that you can get the different options that you're looking for from one SDK and one API, as opposed to having to build something that runs on OpenVR or SteamVR, as well as adding in Vive Wave, as well as adding in Oculus, as well as adding in other things. So instead of that, you'd be able to compile your code against OpenXR and it work on many different headsets, broadening the range from both VR and AR headsets. So I actually went to their panel today. A good discussion. It sounds like they really have narrowed down and know what they're doing, and really I have a lot of faith, and I'm really excited to see what happens with OpenXR. But they also have a pledge: if you are a developer or if you want to experiment with their runtimes, go download one of the ones that's available right now. The most accessible one that I'm aware of is actually by Microsoft. It works with their mixed reality headsets. I'll throw a link into the description of this. Check it out. Again, really not meant for end users, but if you're a developer and you're watching this right now, go try it out. See if that runtime works. There's sample code. I believe the sample code is something like Hello XR or something like that. Try the sample code out. See if it works with your device. See if it works in a manner that you can actually implement that code and have it run on a Windows MR headset. It's exciting to me because the first code that's out is for really the most accessible headsets. Windows mixed reality headsets can cost anywhere from $75 to $400 at this point, from a multiple range of manufacturers, and they run even on low-end PCs. So I'm excited to see what happens in the future with OpenXR, and I'm really excited to see all of the partnerships they have and having everything come into one big open ecosystem. Having VR succeed really depends on everyone working together. So tomorrow is going to be a big day. I have no idea what's going to happen outside of, like I said, the few titles that I didn't recognize after I did Sports Scramble earlier. I don't know what to think. I know that the Christmas presents will be unwrapped a bit early because I'm sure that the press embargo will happen before 10 a.m., which is when I'll be able to go into the Yerba Buena Center and check out what Oculus has to offer. But what I can absolutely say is VR is at a very exciting time, and whether it be with Oculus tomorrow, whether it be with another manufacturer, whether it just be with friends. I've run into several friends so far, and more are coming and arriving tomorrow. GDC this year is fueled by virtual reality. I was in a line for Sports Scramble today for around 2 hours. I've never been in a 2-hour line at GDC before. So the demand is there for virtual reality, the excitement is there, and we're on the cusp of the future. As Oculus has been saying all week, there's like these little billboards that say, experience the future of gaming. And I think we're there. We're at least very close to there. So I will be back with coverage of that big news, whatever it may be, from whomever it may be, tomorrow. It will be a late posting, but it will be tomorrow. I will give you as much detail as I can about as many things that I get hands-on with. Know, though, that if lines are 2 hours for Sports Scramble, it might be a limited window of things that I might be able to cover. I know there's one thing I am absolutely going to cover, and that is Aspire 1 VR Operative by Tripwire Games. I have an appointment to speak with them tomorrow afternoon, so I will absolutely be providing some coverage of that game. But I don't know what Oculus has brought, so I'm excited to see and go on that journey tomorrow, as well as the entire expo hall. So tune in for another episode of Forever, and remember, VR isn't dead. It's forever.